I will call the remote hearing of the Environment and Natural Resources Finance and Policy Committee to order. Today is March 12th, 2021. This meeting is held in accordance with Rule 10.01, which was passed and allows for remote hearings. All remote hearings are recorded and live streamed by House Public Information. The clerk will take attendance of the roll.
Hanson Rick is present. Wasilek Amy.
Wasilek present.
Heitzman Josh.
Present.
Acomb Patty.
Present.
Ackland Susan.
Present.
Becker Jeff. Becker Finn Jamie. I think she's in a different committee. Eklund Rob.
Present.
Fischer Peter.
Fischer present.
Green Steve.
Present.
Igo Spencer.
Present.
Jordan Sydney. Keeler Heather.
Keeler present.
Lee Fu.
Lee present.
Lippert Todd.
Lippert present.
Lewick Dale.
Lewick present.
Morrison Kelly.
Morrison present.
Nelson Nathan. Tice Tama.
Tice present.
And I can see other people rolling in, but we have a quorum present.
Thank you. A quorum is present. The next item on the agenda are the minutes for Thursday, March 11th, 2021. Representative Acomb, have you reviewed the minutes?
I have, Mr. Chair, and I move approval.
Representative Acomb moves the minutes for March 11th, 2021. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Members, we have several bills in front of us today. They're going to be laid over. The first one is House File 1896 by Representative Morrison. We've allocated about a half an hour of time for this. Representative Morrison, would you like to move that House File 1896 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill?
Yes, I would, Mr. Chair.
Representative Morrison, to the bill.
Mr. Chair, members, thank you for the opportunity to present House File 1896. Minnesota is famous for its lakes. Our license plates proudly proclaim that we are the land of 10,000 lakes, even though we all know it's actually more than 11,000. We love them for fishing, for boating, for swimming, and for the simple contemplation of their beauty. They are a part of our heritage as Minnesotans. But the health of our lakes is threatened by the scourge of aquatic invasive species. The DNR currently lists 18 invasive aquatic animals, 10 invasive aquatic plants, and 10 invasive fish diseases. We are lucky to have the Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center at the University of Minnesota, whose mission is to develop research-based solutions that can reduce the impacts of AIS in Minnesota by preventing the spread, controlling populations, and managing ecosystems to advance knowledge to inspire action. This bill would create a stable funding source for the University of Minnesota AIS Research Center by creating an AIS research account as part of the statute that created the original account, by increasing the surcharge on Watercraft from $10.60 to $25. Of the $25, $21 will go to the AIS account, and $2 of that will go to grants to lake associations to manage AIS in their lakes. And $4 from each surcharge will go to the AIS research account for the University of Minnesota AIS Research Center. And Mr. Chair, I believe I have 3 testifiers today.
Mr. Chair, you're muted.
And the first testifier is Mr. Forrester, Executive Director of Minnesota Lakes and Rivers. If you could introduce yourself for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I am Jeff Forrester, Executive Director of Minnesota Lakes and Rivers Advocates. I want to thank Representative Kelly Morrison for bringing this bill forward. I know that during the off session and during last year's campaign, Representative Morrison reached out to a number of lake associations and other water-related organizations, and I'm grateful to her for bringing this bill forward as a solution and a reaction to what she heard during those discussions. I also want to acknowledge the very good work the Minnesota Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center, MACIRC, has done. The research they have been doing since 2014 is really starting to have significant on-the-ground applications. The new AIS Explorer tool will make our investments in inspection and decontamination services far more efficient and effective. Our collective investment in MACERC pays greater dividends every year. House File 1896 is not controversial. We have widely promoted the idea of increasing the AIS surcharge on a 3-year boat license, with the proceeds to go to AIS research, DNR programming, and grants to lake associations trying to manage infested lakes. I would say that all of our members own at least one boat, most more than one. I have not received one email or phone call in opposition, but many calls and emails in support. This bill is really an effort to finish the truncated legislative work of the 2019 session, when much of the final legislative language was assembled by a tribunal. If you remember, there was agreement that the need for AIS surcharge had increased dramatically since it was first set in the 1980s. Concerns about camps that own many boats were addressed. The tribunal process did not include many of the people who had been in the hearing rooms during these discussions, and the number of $10.60 was set, an awkward number for payees and insufficient to meet the needs of the funds. Not only do AIS continue to spread among lakes, resulting in more management expense, but in many lakes, the distribution of AIS is increasing from warmer weather, earlier ice out, later ice out, and less snow cover. Later ice in and less snow cover. The demand has risen even since 2019, and I want to thank Representative Morrison, the chair, and the committee for bringing this bill forward for discussion. Thank you for your time. I'll stay for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Forrester. Next up, Aldous Biersnicks, Gull Association.
Mr. Chair and members of the committee, I am Aldous Biersnicks. I am on the board of directors and past president for the Gull Chain of Lakes Association, GCOLA for short. I'm also on the board of directors for MinCOLA, which is an umbrella organization for all lake associations in Minnesota. GCOLA is a lake association in the Brainerd Lakes area, and we have over 960 members that are lakeshore property owners and businesses. GCOLA and MinCOLA support the increase in the AIS surcharge on boat registration from the $10.60 to $25 per boat. The $25 when spread over 3 years amounts to about $8.33 per year per boater. For most boaters, that is much less than the cost of gasoline for one trip going to the lake and for the boat gas that is used. A very small price to pay for preventing the spread of AIS and for finding solutions to get rid of the AIS. Providing sustained funding for the MACERC, Minnesota Aquatic Research Center, is one of GCOLA's top 3 legislative priorities. It also is a top legislative priority for MinCOLA. One of the talking points that we have for GCOLA to our local legislators for this is for providing the funding for the sustained funding for MACERC is to increase the Watercraft AIS surcharge and include funding for MACERC in that allocation. Bill HF 1896 exactly does that. We understand that research to find solutions to eradicate or reduce the effects of zebra mussels, starry stonewort, and other AIS is a long-term battle. MACERC needs sustained long-term funding to keep and attract research talent so the researchers do not have to worry on a year-to-year basis for continuing their projects. Grants come and go, and depending on them is not a good model for a research organization. The baseline funding in HF 1896 provides MACERC with sustainability to work the AIS issues for the state of Minnesota. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, Dr. Nicholas Phelps, Director, Minnesota Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center, MACERC.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Dr. Nick Phelps. I'm the director of the Minnesota Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center at the University of Minnesota. Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. And on behalf of our research teams, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to support this bill. There isn't a House district in Minnesota that doesn't have local managers and constituents struggling with the impacts of AIS on their lakes, rivers, and wetlands right now. Species like zebra mussels, invasive carp, and milfoil, and many more are fundamentally re-engineering our ecosystems and changing the way we use our water. In response, the state, LGUs, and individuals collectively spend millions to mitigate these impacts and prevent further spread every year. But the problem is simply not going away. We need new solutions, and I'd argue innovative ones that are built on sound science and long-term goals. The good news is we have an opportunity here, and this bill can help. Minnesota is a leader in the fight against AIS. We're recognized nationally. We have a responsive management at multiple levels and a highly engaged public. We also have MACIRC, the Minnesota Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center, a truly one-of-a-kind program. We work closely with managers to prioritize research needs. We bring together the world's best minds to create new ideas and tools. We translate that science into action across Minnesota. I don't have time now, but if anybody would like an update on our progress, never hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm happy to connect you with the researchers or fill you in myself. But a long story short, and as you've heard from the other testifiers, our research is being used in the real world, and it's improving outcomes on many fronts. We really have never been closer to meaningful solutions than we are right now, thanks to past state investments. But the reality is, without continued funding, we are going to be unable to continue promising lines of research or start new projects. This bill offers a creative solution to that problem and would provide the long-term, stable support our program needs. Given the ongoing and inevitable uncertainty probably with the LCCMR and state budgets, this funding source would allow us to envision strategies beyond short-term grant cycles and pursue game-changing solutions. I also think that the source of the funding makes sense. The science is clear that watercraft play a significant role in the spread of many AIS, and putting some of that responsibility on them seems reasonable to me. In addition, new research suggests that boaters are willing to pay more to address AIS problems. And you've heard that from the other testifiers. They care deeply about their lakes and are wanting to help. I really think this bill is a win-win for all involved and critically important to maintaining the momentum we have on the research front. Thank you again, Mr. Chair and Representative Morrison, for introducing this bill. Everyone else, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. Members, do you have any questions? Representative Igo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess my question would be for the bill author. When I was just meeting with the DNR commissioners last week, we were talking a lot about these proposals, and I know the DNR's proposal is only to increase to $11. So I guess I'm just curious to where the jump from 11 to 25 came from, especially in a time of a pandemic when adding more fees and taxes to our constituents and citizens just doesn't seem like the best idea.
Representative Morrison.
Mr. Chair and Representative Igo, I had that same conversation with DNR, and they are concerned about the awkward fee that was referred to by the testifiers of $10.60. It just is a hard one to kind of do the books on. And at that point, a bill had not been introduced, but I have to believe that DNR would agree that managing aquatic invasive species is a priority for all Minnesotans.
Representative Igo.
Right. Okay. So like I said, my question was more though, they recommended increasing to 11 for helping out the bookkeeping. So I just want to know why we're talking about a 235% increase.
Representative Morrison.
Mr. Chair and Representative Igo, I don't believe that MACIRC is in the DNR's budget.
Representative Igo.
In the DNR's budget proposal, they were talking about moving this fee from $11 or $10.60 to 11. I understand that you're trying to form another task force here, but that this just seems like a lot of money really quickly. That's all.
Representative Igo, the proposal 2 years ago was for $25. The compromise that was achieved at the end of the 2019 session was $10.60. That was not the House position. That was a compromise we had to reach. So what Representative Morrison is doing is the original proposal from 2 years ago, and the need is still there. And the $4 is not for a task force. It is for a research center that has been funded by grant money from the LCCMR for the last 6 years. And as we have seen, that money is now at risk. There is no reliability on the LCCMR because of the Republican Senate holding up that 2 bills now. So this is a way to get these researchers out of this political checkmate so that they would have consistent funding to provide work for all Minnesotans that is needed. Representative Tice.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I guess I would just like to say that I'm really disappointed that at this time when we're trying to get resorts and areas back to business because of, and I'm looking at resorts especially where folks are coming, and I'm looking at what they would maybe pay for taxes on their boats that they have to rent out. This is really steep. But also I look at myself and my family and a lot of the families that we see on the lake that are kayaking. That's quite a steep, I mean, that's what a lot of money just for the tabs for the vehicles, which non-motorized, they can go anywhere. I get that part of it. We work hard with our AIS on our local lake association in Richmond, and I think it's a total of 14 lakes. But here we are with this big steep increase again when we're trying to get people to go out. And I know fishing and boating has been one of the things people have done, but it's still I'm looking at this going, wow, I was going to get a couple paddle boards this year. And I'm thinking, that's a lot of money. We also have to get some other things to go with it. And I'm just looking at people who aren't doing a lot of the big things, but can't afford to do the little things. And it's just, I'm sorry, it's just a lot of money, and it's just a hard thing to look at right now. I wish we could do it, when we feel like we've recovered a little bit more. However, I know AIS does not go away, but I do think that we can look at some of these and say, okay, this is what we need to do in a couple of years, push it out a little bit. I'm not even sure why we put tabs on paddle boards, but because it's a really hard thing to do. It's just really hard to see this. Let's let people recover a little bit, and then let's hit them up with this. I know AIS is a big deal. We work on it all the time at our lake, and it really is important that people probably join their lake association more so than it is raising tabs. And I wish there was a way that we could do that, because there's a lot of people on the lake. There's a lot of people that live out there, but they don't join these lake associations. And I wish they would, so that they could quit complaining about some of these things and have more input on what goes on the lake. And also being on LCCMR, I'd say there's a couple different philosophies of why the bills haven't gotten passed yet. And I wouldn't just necessarily blame the Republican senators. I don't think that's fair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Representative Tice, I guess I would say that those of us who enjoy our lakes, and that is a huge percentage of Minnesotans, want to be able to continue to enjoy our lakes. And aquatic invasive species are a continued threat. And this is the kind of thing that only accelerates if we don't address it. And so those of us who want to use our lakes and want our children and our grandchildren to use our lakes, we have to step up and create funding so that the excellent work of MnSERC can continue to protect our lakes. And $8.33 a year to have the opportunity to do that doesn't seem like an excessive amount.
Representative Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, to the bill author.
You know, you're talking about $4 for the research. And you're talking about how important the research is, but you're raising this considerably more than $4. Can you tell me how much money the state and on average puts into AIS research right now per year?
Representative Morrison, and I believe Commissioner Meyer is available as well. Representative Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Green. I believe that there is funding to the tune of $375,000 a year, but I'll defer to the Assistant Commissioner.
Commissioner Meyer.
Mr. Chairman, members, for the record, Bob Meyer, Assistant Commissioner, Department of Natural Resources. First, we would like to thank Representative Morrison for bringing this bill forward again, and we really appreciate the discussion. As far as the fee that we requested versus the fee in this bill, the needs are great for aquatic invasive species management, as you've heard from the testifiers. We do support increasing this fee. We were trying to get it higher. Last time it was raised, it hasn't been raised for quite a while. And trying to find a permanent funding source for the research center is critically important as well. So, Mr. Chairman, just a little background on that. And then if you could just state the question specifically again for me.
Representative Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Myers, can you tell me how much we're spending from different accounts on AIS research right now every year?
Mr. Chair,
Meyer.
Representative Green, I cannot tell you the research components of that. There's a ton of different people doing a lot of different research on aquatic invasive species. I can certainly give you detailed information on where our funding goes. Some of that is grants to local lakeshore associations, and some of it is for our operational activities. In addition to that, there are funds that go to the counties based on a formula by the number of boat launches and parking spaces to help them directly combat aquatic invasive species, the battle we're fighting, right? So that's in the tax bill. And then this would be separately. I believe that's $10 million. Our fee generates, I can give you the specific number here in a second. And we talked about where these additional dollars were going.
Representative Green, I've got 4 more questioners if possible. So is that an answer to your question?
Actually, Mr. Chair, thank you, but it's not. I would like to hear from somebody from the university if they're around to let us know, because we put a ton of money into research right now. And
Dr. Phelps, could you answer the question on how much you receive?
Yes, I can, Mr. Chair. And Representative Green, Macer currently receives just about $1 million in the biennium from the environment budget as a direct appropriation. We also received in 2019 a $4 million grant from the LCCMR. We don't currently have funding beyond that grant, and it will expire in 2 years. So it's all committed and allocated right now. We don't have unallocated funds for new work.
Okay. If you have, Representative Green, if you have additional questions for Dr. Phelps, if you could do those offline. Representative Acomb.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members, and thank you, Representative Morrison, for bringing this bill forward. As you stated in your introduction, our land of 10,000 plus lakes and hundreds of creeks and rivers are incredibly important resources to our cities and our state. And so I think when we look at this increase, it ends up being less than $5 a year per vehicle from what is there now, or per watercraft. And so I don't think that is too much to ask to invest in the health of our water systems. And so I just wanted to say thank you to Representative Morrison for bringing this forward. I think that we need to start protecting our waters. We're seeing that the aquatic invasive species are growing every year, and the water bodies that are infected every year are continuing to grow. So if we want to be able to have them for the future and for our kids and future generations, we need to protect them today, and we need to make investments for sustainable funding to ensure their health. And so I just wanted to say thank you to the representative for bringing the bill forward.
Thank you. Representative Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm pretty shocked by some of the questions that we've heard. Things that are very expensive are boats. So for example, we all know that, you know, even a used motorboat costs thousands and thousands of dollars. But even quick Googling on kayak, like quick Google search of kayak costs, some of the cheaper ones are around $500, $300, $2,000. Paddle boats online, one of the cheaper ones is only around $300, $250, $1,000. So an increase of a few dollars, like Representative Acomb just said, is not going to discourage people from buying boats. The cost of boats comes in the cost of boats, not the surcharge that's going to be used for AIS research. And so I also have a question for Dr. Phelps. I know that some work is being done to determine property value costs as a result of AIS. And I know that project's supposed to be done this year, but do you have any other findings on the effects that AIS have on property values? Maybe even Mr. Forrester might know what happens when a lake has a bad milfoil problem or zebra mussels and what that does to actual property values.
Mr. Forrester and then Dr. Phelps.
Yes, thank you for the question, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. There's been a number of studies. One was from Mankato State some years ago that looked at water clarity, water quality versus a front foot value for lakeshore, and found that for every meter of water clarity, there was a corresponding increase in the value of the property. But a decrease of a meter or a loss of water quality caused an even greater decline. So with the relationship between lake health and property values, it's sort of an inverse. You lose value faster than you gain it by improving water quality. I know that on Lake Coronis, which was really impacted by starry stonewort, which is a particularly destructive AIS, some of the Lake Association people did a study of real estate with real estate agents and so forth, and found a decline in property values that they tried to pin a number on. And then the other piece of this, to the lake associations, I was really glad to hear people talking about the importance of lake associations. I mean, they're a key partner in this with MACERC, DNR, and lake associations. And we did a survey, Concordia College did a survey in 2017 that found that lake associations, and we have over 250 lake association members, collectively, they're spending $6.2 million on lake projects annually. And they're contributing 1.2 million volunteer hours. So if you look at what the value of that is worth, you know, doing many of it projects with MACERC, Starry Trek and aquatic, invasive detectors programs, and volunteering at boat ramps and doing education and all of these things. And this increase would help fund a grant that the DNR had that was eliminated some years ago and then partially restored in 2019. And this would get it back up to the levels that it had once been at, which we're really grateful for, because, you know, you can leverage this revenue and really support the work that lake associations are doing. And, you know, there's over 550 lake associations in the state. As far as I know, that's more than any state in the union. So Minnesotans are engaged with lakes in a big way, and they're putting their money and their time, and this supports that effort.
Dr. Phelps, any research on property values for Representative Jordan?
Mr. Chair and Representative Jordan, we do have a project going on right now looking at property values specific to Eurasian water milfoil. They're analyzing millions of sales records from across the state. It's likely going to be the largest such study ever done. The one-offs, and it's too early to share the results of that work, but the one-off more local focus studies that have been conducted have shown significant impacts to direct property values, and then also ecosystem services. Like the value of clean water to the public can be orders of magnitude more than the effect on the property itself. So, and of course, that all trickles down to local tax dollars, and there's ramifications beyond just the sale of a home that we're trying to understand.
Representative Jordan, if you've got a follow-up question, I've got to keep moving, so I'm going to go to Representative Heinzman, but if you can follow up with Dr. Phelps or Mr. Forrester. Representative Heinzman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Morrison, I have a comment and then some questions. This comes back to the age-old question that we have debated since we created things like the LCCMR and we passed the Legacy Amendment. When Minnesotans voted for these things, in many cases, they expected this kind of work to be done. And here we are looking to raise fees and acting as though there's no money other than this pot, or this pocket is probably more accurately the way to put it. And it's just really frustrating. It's really frustrating when Minnesotans are calling and saying, you're raising taxes again. I thought we took care of this. You know, so my question is, as I'm reading the bill and I'm trying to figure out exactly how this is being charged, is there an exemption for nonprofits?
Representative Morrison.
Mr. Chair and Representative Heinzman, that there is not an exemption written into this bill.
Mr. Chair.
Representative Heinzman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, once again, we're right back at these folks that are, honestly, you could describe as doing the Lord's work. And in my own district, I have Camp Confidence. And they operate dozens and dozens of watercraft. And when you pass bills like this, you literally tell kids, you don't get to go to camp. Because the legislature decided that we're going to go ahead and we are going to exercise another tax on nonprofits. Not to mention the thousands and thousands of families. Yeah, there are some folks that have plenty enough to buy the biggest and best and the nicest, but there's a whole lot, in fact, thousands of very, very frugal people that get out onto the lake with very inexpensive watercraft and so on. Give them a break. This is really, really crazy. The DNR is asking for an increase of 40 cents. And as Representative Igo pointed out, this is over a 200% increase. You know, and you're going to go ahead and apply that to nonprofits and tell kids, yeah, I'm sorry, you don't get to go to camp. I mean, for Pete's sakes, at least exempt those nonprofits that are out there operating on the funds generously donated to them by people that obviously can see the positive work that they're doing. In this case, you're taking that money right out of their pockets.
Representative Morrison.
Mr. Chair and Representative Heinzman, always happy to have conversation and to talk about what makes the most sense. But unfortunately, boats are boats, and they are the watercraft are watercraft. They are the primary vectors of aquatic invasive species in our state. And so we have to find ways to make sure that kids across the state, whether they're there with their mom or their dad, or they're at a camp, are able to enjoy our lakes.
Members, we have to move on. This bill is being laid over. Representative Morrison, was that your closing comment?
Mr. Chair, we love our lakes in Minnesota, and it's our responsibility to care for them and protect them. Watercraft are the most significant vector of AIS, so it's natural to ask watercraft users to pay a small fee so that they and we all can continue to enjoy our beautiful lakes for generations to come. Thank you for the opportunity.
Representative Morrison renews her motion that House File 1896 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill. The bill is laid over. Representative Acomb, House File 1874, Regional Parks and Trails Funding Provided. We have established about 20 minutes of time for this. Representative Acomb, would you like to move that House File 1874 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill?
Yes, Mr. Chair, that's my motion.
Representative Acomb, to the bill.
Good morning, Chair Hansen and members. Thank you for the opportunity to present House File 1874, which is a bill supporting the operation and maintenance of our Metro Regional Parks and Trail System. We know that Minnesotans value our environment and opportunities to get outside all year round to enjoy our parks, our open spaces, and trails. We are so fortunate in the Twin Cities area to have a nationally recognized park and trail system that has facilities located throughout the 7-county metro area, providing something for everyone. This system is an asset to our state and an important reason people choose to live here. This last year has been challenging for all of us in a variety of ways. During this time, the Metro Park system has provided much needed opportunities for us to get outside and move, to keep our bodies and minds healthy, and to provide places for us to gather with others. This resource is so important to the metro region and to the whole state, and we need to continue to invest in it. I have 2 testifiers with me this morning. First is Bo Carlson, Superintendent of Three Rivers Park District.
Mr. Carlson, welcome.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. My name is Bo Carlson. I'm the Superintendent of Three Rivers Park District. And if I may, I'd like to share my screen. I have a very brief presentation I'd like to present.
Very brief.
Can everybody see the presentation?
Yes, proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to present House File 1874 this morning and talk a little bit about the Metro Regional Park System. And thank you to Representative Acomb for carrying this bill for us. The Metro Regional Park System was created in 1974 as an act of the state legislature to essentially provide the equivalent of state park services within the Metro Regional area. And that area consists of the 7-county metro system itself, as well as the 3 cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the city of Bloomington. Three Rivers Park District represents suburban Hennepin County and providing those park services. You can see on the map here, the red dots indicate all the units within our system as a whole. So the system is made up of 56 regional parks and park reserves. In visits, we had in 2019 over 63 million visits to our system as a whole. In 2020, in the midst of COVID, when we had a lot of people seeking outdoor opportunities and opportunities to recreate, I think it's safe to say those numbers probably doubled when we saw tremendous outpouring of people coming to our parks, coming to our trails, and seeking opportunities in the natural area. The system is made up of 54,000 acres. That's 84 square miles of nature-based recreation. And the important component of this is to recognize all of our systems are nature-based. So this is not ball diamonds, it's not soccer fields. These are regional parks, larger tracts of land, the last and best places in our metro area that we're protecting in perpetuity for future generations. One of the key elements of our system as well is our regional trail network. And we have currently about 415 miles of regional trail that provide vital transportation and recreation opportunities across counties, across jurisdictions to connect people within our system. As I mentioned, the system is made up of the 7 counties in the metro area, the 3 main cities, and then Three Rivers Park District representing suburban Hennepin County. The population of our area, or the metropolitan area, consists of about 55% of the state's overall population. So in some cases, these are high density areas, high population areas, and our system serves all of those in the metro as well as the state of Minnesota. So people are crossing political jurisdictions, crossing boundaries to get to our particular park system as a whole. And in some cases, we've found that those systems are loved to death. The amount of visitation that we have at places like Como Zoo, Chain of Lakes, Lake Elmo Park Reserve, or Elm Creek Park Reserve in Maple Grove is a tremendous outpouring and a tremendous amount of traffic that we see within our parks. And it takes upkeep to keep up with that amount of traffic that we're seeing on a regular basis. In 1985, the state legislature passed Minnesota Statute 473.351, which authorized the Met Council to disperse state appropriations to regional park agencies. And the recognition was that not all of the burden of our visitation comes from our local jurisdiction. For most of our system, we have about 40% of our visitation that comes from outside of our political subdivision, or our political boundaries. So in the case of Three Rivers Park District, 40% of our visitation is not from residents of the suburban Hennepin County area. And the recognition was that the burden should not then fall on that local jurisdiction to cover those costs, and the state should play a role in providing that support. The law directed the state to finance no less than 40% of the cost of the operating budget of all of our systems as a whole moving forward. So House File 1874, does exactly that. It increases our operations and maintenance grant funding for the metropolitan regional system. Currently, we get about $2.54 million in general fund spending, and we get $6.6 million through the lottery in lieu of program. This roughly provides about 9% of our overall costs to our system as a whole. So we're well under that 40% threshold identified in statute. This bill would rise us up to $44 million per year, which would get us much closer to that 40% number. In fact, just slightly under 40% overall. You can see within this graphic showing the size and the growth of our system from 1985. And it's important to recall and remember that the creation of the regional system in 1985 wasn't suddenly to create all these parks. In many cases, a lot of these parks were established or in place, in some cases, maybe up to 100 or more years ago when you think about the Minneapolis system and places like Minnehaha Falls and Chain of Lakes and that. But we have grown in acreage to approach almost 60,000 acres of parkland. And as I mentioned earlier, our regional trail network has also grown significantly over the years. And again, our visitation, looking back to about 10 million visits back in 1985 when the first funding act was passed, now to seeing over 60 million visits. And I think again in 2020, we saw that number jump significantly. This shows the historic operations and maintenance appropriations that we've received. And again, showing what the funding for our system has been. You can see the state line at the very bottom there is essentially flatlined for almost the course of the last 20 years. So we have not seen much increase in support to the system, yet our costs continue, like everything, continue to go up on a regular basis. That concludes my presentation, Mr. Chair, and I will be happy to turn it back over to Representative Acomb.
Representative Acomb, we got to go to Mary Jo McGuire, Commissioner, Ramsey County. Commissioner McGuire.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yep, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chair Hansen, and thanks, Bo. I am Mary Jo McGuire. I'm a Ramsey County Commissioner in Ramsey County, which includes the city of St. Paul and 17 suburban cities. I'm co-chair of Active Living Ramsey Communities, which promotes and creates environments that make it safe and easy for everyone to integrate physical activity into their daily routine. So we really need our parks. I also recently served on the Metropolitan Council's Parks Legacy Funding Formula Task Force, and that was an honor to be there. So as you all know, parks are one of our greatest public assets, and providing the opportunity for a quality outdoor experience is a responsibility that we all take very seriously. I'm happy to be here to ask for your support for operations and maintenance funding for our regional parks. We are fortunate to have them, and we need to take care of them. They are one of the best investments we can make in our communities, and I'm sure you all agree. I want to address two items quickly. One is the impact on local government budgets and also the usage. So the first one, on impact for local government budgets, without the statutory 40% operating and maintenance coming from the states, local governments, such as counties and cities, have to fill the funding gap. And of course, the way we do that is through our property tax. So it goes directly onto our local taxpayers. Our park system generates substantial economic benefits to the state, and we want to continue to do this, but we need the state to help us with that. So our local taxpayers can't continue to bear this burden. So to make up the difference, we increase fees, we go onto the levy, we increase facility reservations, equipment rental, all of which create barriers that we don't want to participation. The second item is usage. As you've heard from Bo, we've had increased usage during the pandemic. So people have been using our parks in the metro area at twice the rate, which of course increases operational impacts. Increased impact and damage to trails and turf, increased general upkeep with things like garbage collection, enhanced cleaning procedures. So we've had increased costs, of course. So while our revenue hasn't gone up from the state, we've had to increase our costs. So we in our counties and in Ramsey County, you know, we want to expand park accessibility and open more of our parking lots and trails in the winter, because we know that people really want to use our resources. So we actually want to expand our abilities, and we are not getting the funding to do that. So we want to maintain our high quality natural resources and spaces in the midst of more and more invasive species, which I know you were just hearing about. And our operating and maintenance allocation has not risen with this increased demand. So it's exciting that so many individuals and families want to use our parks more and more. When we've been limited by the pandemic to do many things, being outside and in our physical spaces is one of the safest and most healthy activities that we can do. So we want people to continue to use our parks at increasing levels, and yet we want our parks to continue to survive and thrive. And as Bo has said, we don't want to love them to death. So additional usage requires additional resources, as I'm sure you all know. So we really need your help to continue to provide these resources to our communities. And we appreciate your support as you deliberate on your bill. So thank you so much, Chair Hansen, and all of you for your work. And thank you for your time today.
Representative Acomb, any other testifiers? Representative Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know time is short, so I'm going to make a comment and ask one question. I was looking into this a little bit, and it looks like a lot of the problems that the metro parks are having is that they've been doing a lot of expansion. They get a lot of legacy funds. There's constant applications for more funding to expand this and use this money for more amenities. And it looks to me like they're growing to a point where they just can't fund what they have. And the 40% in statute or wherever it is was put in place at a time when the parks were small. And the parks continue to grow, and they grow without looking forward as to how they're going to fund these new amenities in the future. So with that in mind, and you're looking at shortfalls that apparently because you're asking for this money, are you still planning on growing these parks? Are you still looking for more money for more things to put in them and to acquire more acres, Mr. Carlson?
Mr. Carlson.
Mr. Chair, Representative Green, thank you for the question. So we do and have gone through a system of tremendous growth, and it's based on a tremendous amount of population growth that we've seen in the metropolitan area, and serving our public and providing those amenities that the public demands. We go through a master planning process in all of our systems and all of our park development, not only to identify what new amenities and what new facilities or access we may be providing, but then also identifying where those funding streams come from. In the case of our system, it's not a matter of shortfall, it's a matter of the burden being put on the local unit of government. So when we do actually construct or build those new units, the burden falls on our local property taxes to cover what those costs are. And recognizing, again, as I stated before in the presentation, that most of those visits or many of those visits to our systems, up to 40%, is from outside of our political jurisdiction. So we have non-local visitation that's driving a lot of those numbers, and then forcing our local property taxes to cover what those costs are.
Representative Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Then I'll just make another comment because the questions are going to run too long. But you know, your comments, Mr. Carlson, seem to make sense in this context. But the fact is that you know you don't have the money, and you continue to expand without looking forward as to how you're going to get the money, and so it doesn't look like you're really managing this the way you should be managing it. You can't continue to grow beyond your ability to manage. And so you're going to keep coming back and asking for more and more funds. Eventually they're going to run out. And if the local folks want this, then the local folks will be paying for it. If you got so much money coming in, that's your line, that's your base. And so you're expanding just with the idea that there's this pie in the sky money out there that you're just going to keep grabbing. So I don't like the bill. I think that everybody just got to start living within their means.
Representative Acomb, the author of the bill, I think wants to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I will just say that I think in statutes, it says that we're supposed to get a 40% of operation and maintenance costs from the state, and we're not within the Metro Park system. So I think just on the numbers value, 2.5 million compared to the 40 million, there's a big discrepancy there. And so I think that's really what we're looking to fill, is the discrepancy that's in statute. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Heinzman, I'm going to give a couple more minutes here for you and Representative Lewick, if we can be quick.
Trying to do that, Mr. Chair. Thank you. I think I've heard $2.5 million from Representative Acomb, but Mr. Carlson, I was wondering beyond that, do you know, and maybe that's the bigger question, do you know, how much money are you receiving on an annual basis from the state and from other accounts?
Mr. Ball.
Mr. Chair, Representative Heisman, thank you for the question. So yeah, the support we get from the state in operations and maintenance funding is about $2.5 million. We do receive legacy funds through the Parks and Trails allocation, and that split is Metro Regional Parks receives 40% of the money, the DNR receives 40% of the money, and Greater Minnesota Regional Park System receives 20% of the money. Much of those dollars are used for capital improvements within our system and developing the system as a whole. That could be rehabilitation, that could be land acquisition, that could be new construction. Very little of the legacy fund is used in operations and maintenance funding. We also receive through the Met Council a very small allocation for land acquisition that's through the LCCMR, and that's specifically only for land acquisition within our system. And often it's for acquiring in-holdings, acquiring additional parklands, et cetera. And then finally, we do receive bonding proceeds on occasion when there are bonding bills, and we do receive an allocation again through the Met Council. It's bond proceeds that would be identified by the state in the bonding bill that's matched by Met Council money. Again, all of that is for capital improvements. So it's dealing with rehabilitation of our system, new construction with our system, and then land acquisition as a whole.
Representative Heisman, I'd like to move to Representative Lewick, or if quickly, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question for Mr. Carlson. How are the cities in the metro area that we're dealing with here, are they significantly different in their ability or inability to levy and pay for their own local parks? You know, I think there's almost every small city in greater Minnesota has got some type of city park or some type of system there, and they protect them and they spend local money on them. So is there some major difference between the city's capacity in the metro area versus these little towns that just scrape and will do what it takes to have a nice city park?
Mr. Ball.
Mr. Chair, Representative Lewick, again, thank you for the question. So there is no difference within our system, and ours are mostly county park systems. But we do have the levy opportunity or the levy authority to cover what those costs are. The one element that might be of difference is when you look at a system like Minneapolis, where you have the Minneapolis chain of lakes, they'll see 10, 12, 15 million visits a year to that system, many of which do not live, many of those guests do not live within the city of Minneapolis itself. So the burden falls on Minneapolis taxpayers to cover the cost of operations and maintenance with that system that's mostly derived by people that do not live within that jurisdiction. That is probably the most significant difference between what we see in other communities around the state of Minnesota.
Mr. Chair.
Quickly.
I am completely almost just dumbfounded. We all through greater Minnesota, particularly in places like the Whitefish chain and other hugely water-rich areas, see tremendous visitations from outside of our jurisdictions, but we still prize those things enough to pay our own way. So I'm really disappointed in that approach, that you're so specialized in the metro area, that's different from our park systems at the county and local level. But again, I'm just very disappointed with that. And I think you need to get outside the metro area and look things over a little bit. Might find some new ways to fund things. Thank you.
Commissioner McGuire, I have a question. How many people do you represent in your commissioner district?
Thank you, Chair Hansen. I have 90,000. I have about 90,000 people in my commissioner district. The county is about 560,000.
One county commissioner, 90,000 people. Okay. Commissioner McGuire, Mr. Carlson, with the COVID relief money that's coming, and you mentioned that there was some consequence to COVIDing, I guess, the parks. Is there any way that you can receive funds for maybe equipment or infrastructure needed for sanitizing or improving the parks to meet the pandemic?
Mr. Chair, and I'll just start, Bo, you can add on. We can use some of that. I know our Parks Department uses some for sanitizing and things, but it doesn't, we have so many needs in our county for food insecurity, housing instability, jobs, and so we have been using most of our CARES dollars for that and for the PPE and for all of the health needs throughout our county, which has 560,000 people in it and many needs. So we have used some of it for our parks, but it doesn't begin to cover the need that we have. And so whatever we need to, whatever shortfall there is goes on to our taxpayers then. And so I just want to say that the numbers that we see and the contributions that we make to the state economy with our parks, with people coming to visit our parks is more than what we're getting back from the state on this. And so I just have to say that we're seeing such a high use in our parks that we really do need this operating and maintenance to cover those costs.
Representative Acomb, any closing comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the committee for allowing us to present the bill today. Our metro parks are just a gem that we need to protect, and we're putting forward the bill today because we really want to make sure that the state holds up its end of the bargain to provide with 40% of operation and maintenance to our parks. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Representative Acomb renews her motion that House File 1874 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill. The bill is laid over. House File 936, Representative Lippert, Soil Health Cost Sharing Program established. We have until, can you do this in 12 minutes, Representative Lippert?
I believe so, Mr. Chair.
Representative Lippert, would you like to move that House File 936 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I make that motion.
Representative Lippert to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There have been conversations in multiple committees this session about the importance of soil health building practices. More and more farmers want to implement these practices, adding cover crops, perennial crops, manage rotational grazing, and more. These practices are good for preventing soil erosion, helping the land absorb and retain water, mitigating flooding, improving water quality, and the permanent practices can sequester significant amounts of carbon as well. Farmers are seeing results in their soil and they're excited about that. And again, I hear farmers saying that they would like to, or more farmers saying we'd like to experiment too with these practices, but we need some financial assistance and technical support as well. It's hard to spend money up front for what will be profitable in the long run, and any mistake is costly in farming. So this bill creates a soil health cost share program for the Board of Soil and Water Resources and provides $5.5 million in funding. And there are members of the Bowser team here to say more. And so I'll turn over to testifiers at this point.
Director Jaschke, welcome. State your name and who you're with for the record.
Mr. Chairman, John Jaschke, Executive Director, Board of Water and Soil Resources. Mr. Chair, I'm going to share my screen and just do a short presentation, if that's okay.
Quickly.
Mr. Chair, can you see the screen yet?
I can see your name.
Okay. It's giving me a, I'm sorry, here we go. Share. Okay.
That's a different screen sharing, I think, there.
Okay, are you sharing the PowerPoint? There we go. How's that one?
There, that's better.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, Chair members, yes, I'd like to present to you the Representative Lippert bill, and I thank Representative Lippert for authoring this bill, which is a governor recommendation that has been put forth for our agency and also a component of what the governor's climate subcabinet considered and is putting forth. I'm going to go through this briefly. The climate subcabinet includes a variety of agencies and, of course, a wide variety of different activities and responsibilities. You can see here the list of agencies that are included in that. Obviously, there was a lot of stakeholder outreach as part of putting together the recommendations through the governor's process. There's action that is, imminent, but also much more that is needed. Most of this is really a local responsibility. The state, of course, being a huge component of that. A global solution, of course, is what we're needing, but local action is what it's going to take to accomplish that. This subcabinet work had two components that affect these are related to these budget recommendations. One of them was a natural and working lands action team, which dealt with the natural landscape. There was also a resiliency and adaptation group, which of course is about trying to manage the things that are upon us, including additional rainfall and runoff events that have been exacerbated because of the climate change. And Mr. Chair and members, this is the entirety of the governor's budget recommendations for our agency. It includes these two items, which we're going to be covering here shortly. And then also there is a small operating adjustment that is also included in the governor's recommendations. The first of these is the soil health practices. Representative Lippert talked about the importance of these and the fact that we do have a variety of ways of accomplishing this benefit, which of course allows the soil to become the carbon sink, the place where we can store the carbon. Of course, it also, that carbon in the soil is beneficial for production of the commodity crops in this case, or also for, in many cases, holding that soil in a more in a way that allows it to protect the environment in other ways, water quality, for example, being one of those. Infiltrations, improved various things that also include soil health. Here you can see the utilization of some of these practices. On the left, you see the cover crop being interseeded, after the harvest. We also have some landowners who are interested in grazing that cover crop area to provide an additional economic benefit. On the upper right, you can see one of the types of plants, a radish, that is used to accomplish that. It brings the soil to a healthier state by pulling the carbon into the soil, by providing root zone pores and other ways of allowing the soil to become more porous and provide additional organic matter in the soil. You can see here we've got some crops are able to be seeded, or cover crops are able to be seeded, during the, growing season. In this case, like between the corn rows, and then of course that cover crop continues to provide that protection, during and after the harvest. There are, of course, a large opportunity for this. Minnesota has only about 2.6% of our land that is utilizing the cover crop practices based on some USDA information. Of course, there's about, over 20 million acres of land in Minnesota that is in ag production. And we believe, a good chunk of that could become, ready to use these practices. And the University of Minnesota, the Minnesota Office for Soil Health, has been established a few years ago with some initial sort of funding from our agency and other sources now to figure out how to apply the research that is out there and to put it into practice here in Minnesota with our unique growing season aspects and cropping systems. We have a demonstration program that we started a year and a half ago, and here you can see there are 5 soil and water conservation districts in various parts of the state that have taken on this responsibility and have done it successfully. We actually had, I think, 18 of them that were interested. There's a very high demand from landowners to do this kind of thing, but they need both some technical assistance and financial assistance to make it work for them. And this is what this program is all about. Again, this is the governor's recommendation is to get going on this and start to scale it up. Of course, we're going to need the involvement not only of this particular program, but also the private sector working with the industry, both at the buyer scale, but also at the field level scale with the crop advisors and others who are working with farmers and their data on their private property. So the governor's recommendation is for $5.5 million for the biennium in front of us. And Mr. Chairman, I will stop there and take any questions.
Okay, we have two other testifiers, Ms. Vanny, Minnesota Association of SWCDs, and then Ms. Pincala with the Nature Conservancy. Ms. Vanny.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. Thank you. For the record, Sheila Vanny, Assistant Director with the Minnesota Association of Soil and Water Conservation Districts. Would just like to start by expressing our thanks to Representative Lippert and to the governor's administration for highlighting the role that soil health can have in climate solutions that we can undertake at the local level. I would just refer to our letter of testimony that I believe is in the committee members' packets. And that encompasses some thoughts on both of these two climate-related bills from the governor's initiatives. Specifically on the soil health bill, what we're kind of, I think, advocating for is considering some modifications to this bill that would utilize and enhance the existing erosion control and water management program, commonly known as the state cost share program that is established in 103C, the SWCD law. That current state cost share program provides funds to share the costs of systems or practices for erosion control, sedimentation control, water quality improvements that are designed to protect and improve our soil and water resources. So through that existing state cost share program, land occupiers can request financial and technical assistance from their local SWCD for the implementation of conservation practices, such as cover crops, managed grazing, and all of the items that we're talking about when we're looking at soil health. So we have an existing system in place that provides these incentives for landowners. And it also allows and affords us the opportunity to mesh the resources and funding available from the federal government through our partners at USDA to complement our efforts at the state and local level, both through the financial and program incentives, as well as the technical standards that we use from the USDA NRCS. So we want to be able to make sure that we're doing this in an efficient manner and tapping into and amping up the existing systems that are already there, but making improvements in those as we go forward. Mr. Chair, that would conclude my comments, and I again just want to convey our strong support for moving forward on soil health.
Thank you. Ms. Pincala.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Chair Hansen and committee members. I'm Stephanie Pincala, and I work for the Nature Conservancy in Minnesota. As a reminder, the Conservancy is an international organization with a mission to conserve the lands and waters on which all life depends for the benefit of people and nature. I'm here today to share our support for investments in soil health as represented by House File 936, but to also emphasize the need in any soil health proposal for stakeholder participation in the development of a comprehensive program that would expand soil health practices across the state for all types of farming operations. Science tells us we can increase carbon storage through natural lands, including croplands in the state, and soil health practices will help store carbon and mitigate the effects of climate change, while also providing benefits for water quality, water quantity. We also know there's an urgent need for these activities to expand to a meaningful scale. In addition to the cost share program, financial and technical assistance that would be proposed in this bill, we'd like to see state agencies as well as private and public stakeholders convene to develop a program to encourage and leverage private sector involvement and investments in addition to the state investments towards soil health. A lack of collaboration and coordination will hinder soil health efforts from expanding to the rate of adoption needed to secure significant carbon sequestration and other benefits. So this bill is certainly a step in the right direction, but without that coordination among stakeholders, we think we'll fail to see the collaboration and shared public and private investments needed to address the state's significant carbon sequestration needs. Thanks for your time.
To the questions, Representative Lewick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess this would be a question for Mr. Jaski. We've got some really substantial water conservation and water erosion programs, anti-erosion programs that exist both at the local level with the soil water conservation districts plus NRCS. You see this as you don't have the capacity right now as far as direction or authority in statute, or is this a question of you could use more dollars, I guess? So we got two problems or one here to cut to the quick.
Mr. Jaschke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Lewick, I think the answer is yes, we need both. Obviously, without the funding, there wouldn't be any way to do anything, but we do need some structure around it as well. And that's important for, purposes of having the state funding be, accountable, number one. And number two, we believe it will be helpful, as others have said, to attract additional federal funding to Minnesota to supplement what we have proposed in this recommendation.
Representative
Lewick. Thank you. I disagree just a little bit. I think that we've got a reasonable structure, particularly at the local level with our elected soil and water conservation district commissioners. So I think that exists. So I'd be more concerned about making sure we right size the funding and not be so concerned about giving rudder orders, so to speak, to everybody. I think the local units down there are able to do a pretty good job. They've got 50-year plus history of doing that. So thank you.
Representative Acomb, final question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think that I appreciate the comments that were just made about providing structure and funding. And I think the greenhouse gas emissions report that has come out is showing that agriculture is not cutting emissions. And so programs like the soil health are going to be incredibly important. So thank you to Representative Lippert for bringing this bill forward. And is this something that can be scalable to meet the need?
Representative Lippert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative Acomb. We absolutely need to scale these practices up. And that's just critical. Right now it's spring and there's a lot of soil that's vulnerable to heavy volatile rains. So we want to get these practices, more of these acres covered across Minnesota. So I'll keep working with all the voices to make sure that we're finding the best pathway for that scaling of these practices.
Representative Lippert, any closing comments?
Thank you for the time, Mr. Chair, members. These practices are critical for protecting our soil, cleaning our water, and also responding to climate change too. So I look forward to working more with all the voices involved in the conversation.
Representative Lippert renews his motion that House File 936 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill. The bill is laid over. House File 932, Representative Fischer, Water Quality Storage Program established. And Representative Fischer, we have till 10 o'clock. We got about a little over 15 minutes. Would you like to move House File 932 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill?
Yes, Mr. Chair, so moved.
Representative Fischer also has an author's amendment. We are going to hold on that until after the bill presentation. Representative Fischer to the bill. Mr. Jaschke, or Representative Fischer. Sorry.
Thank you, Representative. Thank you, Chair Hansen. I appreciate the opportunity to present House File 932. This is a bill that has many similarities to House File number 518 by Representative Lippert. It's a bill that was developed to address water storage in the Minnesota River Valley and is a continuation of work that was done by Representative Torkelson and former Representative Brand over the last couple of years. And it also comes out of the work done in the Joint Subcommittee on Water. Last year, the legislature, we heard a lot about the need for water storage in the Minnesota River Basin, and the Subcommittee on Water Policy discussed this issue in 2019, and in 2020, my water subcommittee held hearings on this. At the same time, there was an interest in having this as a statewide program, and that's what House File 932 does, is create the statewide water storage program, and the amendment I have will put the focus and direct Bowser to begin implementation of the program in the Minnesota River Valley Basin. And it is critical that we take a look at this, because over the last many years, we've been seeing an intensity and frequency in the intensity of rainstorms across Minnesota. And this has changed how water is flowing across our land. And as a result, it's causing more erosion. And we have had tours down in the Minnesota River Basin where we have seen the damage that it causes with the intensity and the frequency of the storms that runs off so fast that it's eroding soil, the banks of the Minnesota River at a much faster portion than it typically does. We've also heard stories from farmers where they're finding that some of their lands that are lower in the, where the water comes through their district is accumulating in ways and staying on their land in ways that it has never done before. And so we're hearing complaints from farmers that we need to find a better way to approach this problem. And this is what the bill does. It authorizes Bowser to work with local governments to provide financial assistance. It requires matching contribution for dollars that are spent, and also requires Bowser to continue to look for federal grants out there to make sure that we can secure those additional dollars that are needed to do this large work. I'll pause there and let my testifiers go next.
Thank you, Director Jaschke and Mr. Wyrens.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman and members, thank you again. As a quick reminder, these are the two items that you're hearing today that are part of the governor's recommendation for our agency, along with the operating adjustment. I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Director Dave Wyrens to walk through this piece. I just wanted to thank Representative Fischer for putting this bill together. I know it reflects a lot of work that's been done over the last couple of years by that joint committee that he mentioned, of course. And I know he hasn't yet put forth the amendment, but what he indicated to me what that would do, we would also support. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Dave Wyrens.
All right, Mr. Chair and members of the committee, for the record, my name is David Wyrens, Assistant Director for Programs and Policy Development with the Minnesota Board of Water and Soil Resources. First off, your water storage challenges, if we're paying attention to our weather events that are happening in Minnesota over the past number of years, we are experiencing larger and more frequent and intense rainfall events. They result in negative impacts to agriculture infrastructure and the significant erosion that entails from these increased water flows. And the pictures here are a couple of examples of those increased water challenges that we are in fact facing in the state. So I might ask a question, what is water storage and treatment? What do we mean when we talk about that? And what it means is water storage projects that are engineered to slow down or temporarily hold back water from entering a stream or river. For example, during a storm, water may be directed into a wetland, a holding basin, or soil on a farm field, and then allowed to be slowly released back downstream as well. This action provides water quality treatment by allowing sediment to settle out. It also reduces the water volume and speed leaving our landscape, which in turn reduces erosion along riverbanks and the amount of sediment entering Minnesota's streams, lakes, and rivers. There are multiple benefits of water storage that accrue. They are listed here on this slide, and they include, again, decreasing erosion. It mitigates climate change impacts by slowing down the water, again, managing for the increased water and rainfall events that we're in fact seeing. It can protect infrastructure as well as private property from the impacts of flood damage. It prepares ag land to withstand more intense rainfall events and improves downstream water quality. Here's one example of a project in Lincoln County of water storage, just to give you a visual of what we're talking about here. This is an example that required multiple landowners, the local township, because that's a township road as you see traveling through the property. And the issue here is there's a drainage project that would have cost a considerable amount of money. There also were some downstream needs to protect the city of Granite Falls downstream. So what they had to do here in this first slide, you see that there's some low areas on either side. The issue was if they could raise the level of the township road, they could increase water storage in a dramatic basin, save money for the farmers on their drainage projects, and protect downstream properties, including the city of Granite Falls. As you see here in this slide, this shows you at the highest water level in the spring. What it provided for is a 61 acre foot of additional storage that then can be metered out over time to protect the downstream interests, as well as provide some drainage benefits for local producers as well. So it has, again, these multiple benefits that I was speaking to a moment ago. And then a final picture for this example is showing how's it look within the growing season. It looks like a natural wetland. It provides, again, those water benefits, those infrastructure benefits, the adaptation benefits. It also provides local environmental benefits as well, too, as you see here in this slide. Another example of and another way of getting at water storage is remeandering streams. It was been a fairly common practice in the past in the state to straighten out the rivers. What that does is it speeds up the flow of water by remeandering to have a more natural course of a stream. What you in fact do is you increase the capacity to hold water, and you also slow it down. This is an example in Wilkin County, a Wolverton Creek project that is restoring a large stretch of this river that's a tributary to the Red River as well. And again, there's these multiple benefits that are associated with making a more natural river. For our purposes here, this is another example of a water storage practice that can be done there as well. And, we were talking about rural and agricultural settings, but water storage has value within the urban areas as well, too. And the examples you see here are some rain garden events within the metro area. This one here on the left is a iron hand sand filter that stores water, but also provides treatment to remove nitrates from the water. These other two are a rain garden in Fridley and one in Woodbury as well. So there's lots of local, smaller scale activities within the metro area that provide those same kind of water storage and management benefits as well. And in closing, as Director Jaski had mentioned, as well as Representative Fischer, this is a governor's recommendation to establish a program to provide financial assistance for water storage to protect streams, rivers, lakes, and infrastructure. And it's the recommendation is $3 million for the upcoming biennium. With that, Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to respond to any questions the committee may have.
Members, we only have a few minutes left. I want to go to make sure we get the testifiers, Dr. Jennings and Ms. Vianney. Dr. Jennings.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee and Representative Fischer. My name is Carrie Jennings, and I'm Research and Policy Director at Freshwater. You should have received a 2-page color handout called The Minnesota River Basin is Growing from Freshwater, and it outlines the rationale for our support for this legislation, but also for prioritizing the water storage program in the Minnesota River Basin first. I think you've all seen that Star Tribune picture that shows the Minnesota-Mississippi confluence and the vast difference in color. And we know that sediment is coming primarily from the Minnesota Basin, and this is well studied. When I say well studied, I mean I recently counted 50 scientific articles, 9 theses, and a number of maps that demonstrate that there has been a nearly 10-fold increase in sediment from this basin. So the sediment we know is coming not from fields anymore primarily, but from the erosion of these high bluffs and ravines that dominate this watershed. And they're unraveling into the landscape with drainage and increased rainfall events. So as a result, the homeowners in this basin are actually losing homes in some cases to bluff collapse. MnDOT is spending a lot of money to repair highways like 169 between Mankato and St. Peter. They have to raise Highway 19 at Henderson. The sediment is decreasing the life of Lake Pepin from 3,000 to 300 years, and there's more frequent dredging required in the Minnesota River to keep the port of Shakopee open, and the parks and trails along the Minnesota River are repeatedly digging out after floods that bury them and damage the park infrastructure. And all of those problems have the same solution, and that's water storage to reduce these increased flows in the rivers. Studies have even pointed to where and for how long water should be stored to get flows below a critical threshold. People in the basin have also come together to support this program. And this includes the group of local and state agribusiness and environmental organizations that you'll see on page 2 of our handout. They spent 5 years hammering out an agreement for the most efficient and cost-effective strategies to implement. And the table is set in the Minnesota River Basin in part by the work of Scott Sparlin and the Friends of the Minnesota Valley. You'll probably see a sign-on letter with numerous communities that have come together to support a program that focuses on water storage in this very well-studied basin. We also think it's a wise use of limited state funding. Thank you.
Ms. Vianney, quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, for the record, Sheila Vanny, Assistant Director with the Minnesota Association of Soil and Water Conservation Districts. And I want to first convey, we SWCDs absolutely share the view that this is a resource priority. Water storage is absolutely needed across the landscape to slow the flow of water entering into our systems. We would offer that the language could be put into an appropriation bill as appropriation language, and would allow some additional flexibility in terms of how it gets delivered, as opposed to codifying this language in statute right now. We realize in a couple of the projects you saw had SWCD involvement. The Lincoln SWCD had a pivotal role in that Lincoln County project, and the Wilkin SWCD had a pivotal role in the remeandering of that stream project. We want to make sure that we get this right, and that we have clear roles and responsibilities for the LGUs involved. And we look forward to working with Representative Fischer and others as this conversation continues. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Representative Heinzman, I'd like to get Representative Fischer's amendment considered. We wanted to get it on the record that Bowser did support it. So if you can hold for a minute, I'd like to go to Representative Fischer quickly. Representative Fischer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move the A1 amendment. This creates the focus of having the focus being done in the Minnesota River Valley to start with.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. Representative Heinzman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Representative Fischer, maybe your amendment to some extent dealt with a correspondence that I'm looking at from the Red River Watershed Management Board. If you could clarify whether or not the amendment did that, that would be helpful. It's obviously a huge issue, water storage on the land. It's something we're constantly talking about, but it is odd that there are folks that are looking at this and they do have some concerns, specifically because the DNR has a fairly well-established water storage practices under their flood hazard mitigation program. And it was interesting that the group had concerns over the mechanics of the bill, and that there was currently no definition of water storage practices in statute nor within the bill language. Did the amendment change that, Representative Fischer, or are those concerns still valid?
Representative Fischer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Heinzman. The amendment basically focused the work in the Minnesota River Valley, but I will redirect you to lines 1.12 through 1.15 of the bill, where it says that besides control for protecting infrastructure, this is to improve water quality, related benefits, and mitigate climate change impacts. So that's where the definition is. That takes it out from just the flood storage, but to address the other issues that are out there. And I think that will address the concerns that folks were asking about. Where's the clarity? And it's in those lines right there.
Representative Heinzman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think those concerns probably still remain, but I appreciate Representative Fischer attempting to work towards resolving that.
Representative Fischer, closing comments.
Closing comments, I want to say thank you. It's obvious we need a statewide program to deal with the increasing intensity of our rainfall. The frequency and intensity has changed and caused soil erosion, and we need a statewide program to take care of it. I will continue to tweak the language to address concerns. Look forward to continued input. Thank you for the committee's time.
Representative Fischer renews his motion that House File 932 as amended be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill. The bill is laid over. I did want to just comment. I would Dr. Jennings and mentioning 5 years working on hammering out an agreement. And, you know, where I grew up is in the Minnesota River Basin, and I wonder how many miles of brand new tiling or improved tiling has occurred during that 5 years while we were working on this agreement. I'm concerned that we'd use public money for water storage when there continues to be aggressive tiling occurring everywhere in these basins, and that results in speeding up the water. Members, we have a full week ahead next week hearing budget bills. Those are being posted. We have gone through first deadline, and we are adjourned.